and welcome back to my channel. I'm just a little bit frustrated today. We are on red alert in Harris County here in Texas, and you all know what that means. So, of course, we had to take precautions and follow the guidelines. Now, everybody told me that anybody can get a test. What I'm saying is COVID testing. Okay, if you want to go ahead and get yourself a test or get yourself tested, just so like me, if you are curious, you go ahead and get yourself tested. Well, I went to 5 different testing sites because you can't just call the number. They told you to get an appointment get an appointment online. So I went to 5 different websites, 5 different testing sites, and went ahead and fill out all the form that needed to be filling out. And since I am not sick, since I am not having symptoms of it, and I do not have an underlying sickness or illnesses or whatever you call it, so I'm not eligible. But everybody told me anybody can get a test. Anybody can get tested. That's what they're saying. But I guess if you don't work for health industry or in a medical field, you don't get tested. You're not allowed to get tested if you don't have no symptoms or an underlying illnesses or any symptoms. Again, if you're not in like first responders, workers, if you're not in the medical field, if you're not in a healthcare industry, not everybody get tested. That's for sure, because I get frustrated myself. All of these 5 testing sites, they're either not available because it's booked, or the website is just gonna tell you that you're not eligible. So I don't know what the truth is. So if you're not allowing anyone at all, if you're not in a medical field, or if you're not in a healthcare industry, or if you're not first responders workers, then anybody really don't get tested, right? Unless you are one of those. I have it proven today. So, because if you go and make an appointment on this testing website, and if you do not have any of these illnesses or symptoms that's in their form, then you're not eligible. So the question is, if you can't even get tested because you don't have the symptoms, then why are they telling the entire world that 40% of people came back positive without a symptoms? How do they even determine this? How do they determine that when they're not even testing anyone without a symptoms? Because apparently you're not eligible for the test. So how do they even determine that? So they're all lying. They're lying. So do you think these numbers that's going up is maybe the real number? Because a lot of people even claiming that they have a test months ago and they haven't even get the result. They haven't even got the result. So I mean, this is just fear-mongering, they're creating chaos on people, creating anxiety. I believe that it is very dangerous, but you can't be making up story about people came back positive without a symptoms, because they're not even letting you go and have yourself a test without any symptoms. So how do they again That is my question. So it's just so frustrating. Okay? Because if you don't work for healthcare industry, if you are not a first responders, if you're not in the medical field, you're not gonna get tested. So it's not true, folks. For you all there telling me that anyone get tested, anyone can get tested. That is not true. It is not true, folks. Okay, I will challenge you guys to all of you that who have a health insurance. Go ahead, so you know. Go ahead and make an appointment in all this testing site, so you know what I'm talking about. If you have no symptoms, if you are not sick like me, you know, or either maybe I just have a good immunity because I went to Louisiana months ago, and Louisiana apparently was or have the highest cases before Texas have one. And then I came home and I didn't even quarantine myself, and went to the store without a mask most of the time and working every day without a mask, and here I am. So that's why I wanted to have a test myself, because I wonder that maybe I am walking around as a single mom here, and maybe I have the infections walking around and maybe without the symptoms. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So I want to get tested myself, because they keep saying, you know, you can even have the virus without symptoms. So I'm curious myself to get tested, because I have no symptoms. I'm not wearing mask every day at work. And when I go to the store, and then I went to travel to Louisiana when they supposedly have a high cases around that month when I went. So then here I am walking with no symptoms, with nothing. So I really get curious. Maybe I do have it and not even know it. Not even knowing I have it, right? Because they say, you know, a lot of people came back positive without symptoms. So it's so frustrating. So folks, why don't you try it for yourself? You know, to see if you really believe what I'm saying. So if you do, come back with me, and wherever is this testing site, then I'll go for myself. I'll do it myself, you know. So because I'm tired of these people are panicking and, like, you know, having anxiety, or like, oh, like, you know, because they see me without a mask and they thinking, you know, I'm carrying this virus myself. So, you know, and they probably, if they're saying we're walking with this virus without symptoms, then maybe I already have it. If there is anything that have all of this, maybe I have it myself, because I went without a mask ever since the shutdown. I probably only wear a mask 3 or 4 times ever since shutdown. So that's why I wanna have myself tested. But apparently you can't just get tested. So there you have it, folks. Try it for yourself so you know what I meant.